Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. Welcome to BrickCon. If you are joining virtually from outside of the Pacific Northwest, then let me welcome you virtually to the Pacific Northwest. It's awesome to live here. I promise it's not as bad as you hear on the news. We've got with us, let's see, Flynn and Richard are here. Mel is here. Tyler is here. Corey is here. We may have some other friends join us in a little bit. And what we're going to start out by doing is talk a little bit about what we've been up to since LEGO Masters. We will answer all kinds of questions. Thank you to Douglas and thank you to Allie. They will be directing some questions from you to us, and we'll get to some of those questions in a bit. But first, we're going to talk about what we've been doing. Flynn, Richard, y'all want to kick it off?
I guess we've been pretty busy, right?
Yeah, we've been kind of busy. So ever since the show ended when we were sort of had just started lockdown, and so we came up with the completely original idea that no one else thought of to start a YouTube channel. While while things were crazy, and it really ended up I don't know, sort of gathering a small crowd. Like, we're not the hugest channel, but we have a really dedicated crowd.
We sort of built a community. Right?
We built a community around it, which is great, and we've done a bunch of we do weekly build challenges, and actually we did our very first as a group collaborative build, which you can see here at BrickCon. It's called Fab Max Furry Road, and it was a mashup of Fabuland and Mad Max. So Fabuland meets the apocalypse, basically. I know Boone built something for it, and it was really, there's about, gosh, I don't know, like 30 to 33 builders worked on it, and there's like 100 and some photos, but they gave it its own little breakout theme, which we were so excited to see. So you can definitely check that out as a thing. And then that's pretty much what we've been doing. I mean, we stream 4 days a week, so that keeps us pretty busy.
Yeah, I have a full-time job, so it's all outside of that. So we're super busy, and we've been building lately.
Yes, like finally building, like we build a lot of sets on the show and stuff, but we've been building more and more of our own stuff, and we just did a little photography session for the Lego and IKEA Big Lek, the new Lego storage boxes that are coming out. And and our picture ended up in a little like commercial on Instagram and like shared by Lego and IKEA. So yeah, that's what we've been doing.
I was curious, how did you find out how to pronounce the product from the name of the product from IKEA?
When I saw the commercial and the kid at the beginning, he's like, says, "You can do this with Big Lek." I was like, "Oh, that's how you say it. Good. Now I don't have to embarrass myself."
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, did you give everyone like URLs so that they can find your stuff?
Oh, sure. We are Tricky Bricks pretty much everywhere except for Twitch. And on Twitch, we're Tricky_Bricks because somebody already had Tricky Bricks.
Without a space, right?
Without a space, all one word. We have a website, trickybricks.com. We're on YouTube, like I said, 4 days a week, live. That's Tricky Bricks. We're on Instagram, Tricky Bricks. So it's pretty much a catch-all for where you can find us.
Awesome. Oh, Tyler brought up the baby.
Baby
Tyler,
builder.
you want to tell us what you've been up to, Tyler? As if
this is what I've been up to. And diapers. So so this guy's pretty much been all-consuming for the past well, let's see, he's like 3 months old. He'll be 3 months old this week. So he's just been an absolute joy and a blast. He's like the happiest little baby ever most of the time. He's getting a little fussy right now, but he sleeps like 10 hours at night, so we have to usually like wake him up in the morning. So he is a fantastic sleeper, happy camper. So This is Timothy, and that's what I've been doing. That, and I've got a Lego Ideas project, Stitch, that I'm trying to get some votes for, some support for. But that's about it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna spend some time in this room plugging ideas. So go vote for Stitch.
And the
Go
Magic
vote for
School Bus.
Stitch. Awesome. How's Amy, Tyler?
She's doing great. She's doing really well. Postpartum has been really good for her. She's happy to be back to exercising and things like that again.
Awesome. Good.
She's
Corey.
feeling like herself.
Corey, how you doing, man?
What's going on, everybody? How's it hanging? Look at little Timothy. Oh, man.
I'm doing good.
He got so... time just like, it just breezes by. 3 months already. Like, wow. Like, that's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, what have I been doing? Pretty much the same. Just staying busy. You know, a lot of things have changed due to this pandemic. At one time I was, you know, doing after school programs in schools, and now I do after school programs right here in my house. So I have been doing virtual everything, virtual classes. This morning I had a virtual birthday party with a group of kids. We did a Star Wars build, taught them how to make a little mock X-Wing, and then you know, it was a really cool event. But yeah, it's been really just full steam ahead with Brothers Who Brick. Me and my brother, we really took on to this name, this nickname that the show gave us. A lot of opportunities have opened up because of the show. You know, I did a couple of summer events. I did one for Chime, the company Chime, did an awesome event with them. I did a virtual event with Slack. Never heard of them before, but I did an event with them. Been working with testingmoms.com, doing mini camps, after just weekly camps, and then weekend camps as well, which has been a blast. I do a nightly Brick and Chat where I'm just shooting the breeze with all types of people, ranging from kids to, you know, grandparents. That's been amazing. That's been fun. Got a huge thing coming up for the holidays. Me and my brother got this amazing opportunity that was presented to us. Because of COVID, we had to like kind of work within the guidelines of who we could bring aboard and stuff like that. But you know, it was a great experience. It was a fun experience. We had an awesome time doing that. Can't say much about it due to you know, the legality of everything in life. So we had to do that. But yeah, I've been inspired just watching what everybody is doing, seeing what everybody's building, seeing how everybody is just coping with this new world that we're living in. And you know, I've just been busy doing that. And Brothers Who Brick has been really taking off as far as virtual learning is concerned. And last week we did an event with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in New Jersey, where we did a Little Heroes prom. And we hosted a prom for 200 cancer patients. Some were in their hospital beds, some were at home. And that was a really emotional event for us. Me and my brother, we were there, we did it. That was like the first time Travis has ever led out in a virtual build. Usually I'm the one who does it, but Travis led out in that build, and it was real special to him to connect with all those kids who have the same story as him. And you know, we're working with that society as well to offer more virtual learning, virtual events for you know, leukemia and lymphoma cancer patients in our area, and hopefully, you know, nationwide as we continue to grow. So I know I said a mouthful, but you know, our Father has always taught us to you know, to constantly work and constantly you know, make a difference however we can. So the platform we're given, you know, that's what we're going to be doing. So yeah, but you can check us out, samsbrego.com. That's my website for, and I'm not even wearing one of my Bregos. That's a shame on my part. I should have, but I'm wearing a vest, so you can't really wear one with a vest.
I'm glad to see you're still dressing just as nice as ever, even despite COVID. So that's good to see.
The bottom half of me, you probably wouldn't say that. but I'm gonna just keep on top. But thank you. But yeah, samsbrego.com. That's where you can find all of our information as far as hey, there it is. Nice, Flynn. Nice. I'm glad you still got it. Well, of course you will still have it, but awesome. Yeah, that's where we have all of our information as far as upcoming classes. We're rounding out our fall enrichment one. We're going to be doing our fall enrichment 2 coming up in a couple of weeks. Brothers Who Brick, social media everywhere, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Brothers Who Brick. Me personally, Sam's Brego. That's the business portion of what we do. Brothers Who Brick is more the everyday event, learning, all that stuff. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Corey.
No problem.
Mel, what is new, man?
Man, a lot, man. Hats off to my man Corey, man. He stayed busy, man. That was a lot, man. And all those people, I bet all those people, love, just the attention that you give, man. You didn't have to do what you did, man, but you out here doing it, dude. And it's been pretty busy for me. I was able to make some friends in the lovely city of Portland at Bricks Cascade, and that one of my new good friends, Holly, has helped me to craft a Lego after school program to I hate to say underprivileged kids, but kids that just Lego's just not around for them due to financial concerns or due to cultural inabilities, right? And so we're putting on this session, and we had a couple, Flynn taught a class, Corey came out and taught a class, and they loved it. I reached out to the community, and I told them, I said, look, I don't want your money, but if you can buy, this particular, set. Man, I got an overwhelming response. I probably ended up with almost like 50 brick boxes. So now I'm planning my second after school session. So I can, and I got like 40 kids lined up. And that in itself is a reward, man. I wouldn't want anything else, because as a police officer, throughout my career has always been about the community. I've always done youth programs, and I've always helped the the underprivileged, and to bring the underprivileged community into Lego, because Lego can be expensive. It can be. It just brought tears to my eyes, man. I know, I say, I'm a quick mouth person. I say a lot of, pretty messed up things and joking around. But that right there kind of kept me humbled, to be able to give something that I love to someone else, and so that's what I've been up to. Me and Jermaine, we're working on another project, a collaboration together, and that's coming up pretty soon here, and where we're going to actually do I guess you can call it like a Lego club. And so we're working on that. That's getting ready to unfold. I'm always a YouTuber. I was a YouTuber when I started my my Lego expedition. And you can find me at Iceberg Bricks on YouTube. I used to talk about some crazy stuff, but since Lego Masters, they kind of helped me censor all that stuff on my channel. So I do have some great topics. I was one of the recipients of the Adidas Lego stuff. So definitely go check out that video. It's fun. I'm sorry, Corey. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. But definitely check out that video. It's funny. But check out that video. I got some fun stuff on my YouTube channel. I'm always on Instagram posting stuff. It's been a blast, man. Despite COVID, we found a way. So.
Awesome. Cool. Hey, thank you all so much for sharing, and thank you for being here. Thank you for all the BrickCon folks who are supporting us today. We really appreciate it. And thank you everyone who was watching. What have I been up to? Man, my wife helped me develop a virtual camp that we ran through the summer. It actually still runs for people that want to join it, but our big busy time was certainly the summer. YouTube, I've been just trying to get back at it with YouTube. I've had a YouTube channel since like 2007, and I just on and off with my intensity on YouTube. But it has certainly been a fun place to interact with the community since the show over on Fox. So that if you're interested in looking at YouTube, you can find me at youtube.com/BooneBuilds. I am pretty much Boone Builds everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Flickr. You can find my stuff under Boone Builds. I, like Tyler, am plugging an ideas project today. It is the Magic School Bus. I reached 2,000 supporters on Thursday and published the third variation of the Magic School Bus with these big dirty tires. So you can check out how I convert the regular bus into the various versions of the Magic School Bus that I've created, and we've got all the little minifig characters in there and different versions of this. So love your support over at ideas.com. And again, Tyler is representing the Stitch of the Disney universe there. So give us some ideas, love. And what I'll say about ideas is that every person who is trying to push an idea to the 10,000 supporters that it needs just to get Lego to look and consider it, every one of those people put a tremendous amount of work into their design. They put a tremendous amount of effort into gaining that support. And then, as we saw in the most recent update from Lego Ideas, 1 or 2 of 26 that reached the 10,000 are even going to be produced. So it's no guarantee. It's a lot of heart and blood, sweat, and tears. And so go support your, what do you say, independent Lego artists by voting for their ideas on ideas. Okay, hey, what do you say we go to the questions? We've got some questions in the public question box there.
Oh. We have a question that's been asked by a few. What was your favorite challenge on Lego Masters? And that's to any one of you. What was your favorite challenge? I know mine, but I want to hear from you.
What was our favorite challenge? I gotta think about it a little bit.
I know what my favorite was. The Space Smash challenge. So that was episode 2. It was just so cool to have, Lego's such a constructive medium, but to have you construct something with deconstruction being the alternate result. I just thought that was a really fun concept to think about the destruction of what you're constructing while you're building it and trying to fit that into your storyline and the story that you're trying to tell with your piece. So I thought that was just a unique challenge. It was really a lot of fun to think outside the box.
I know Corey and Jamie Berard struggled a little bit with the concept of destroying Lego elements.
Oh man, I loved it. I loved it.
That was a painful exercise. But I would say that one of my favorite builds on the show, or was a build that me and my brother we weren't really involved in, but I enjoyed it the most out of all of them, and that was the storybook challenge where the kids were kind of giving you guys the ideas of what to build. My gosh, that episode, that has to be like one of my most favorite episodes, because it's one thing for us as builders to come up with the idea and then kind of just run with it because we have it visualized in our head, but to take an idea that's in a child's head, visualize it, build it, and still have it relate to them to where they interpret it, like when one of the kids, I think one of the kids were like, when I can't remember which one was it, but it was like he mentioned, oh, I was thinking this, and then either it was Aaron or it was I'm not sure, but it was like they were like, is this what you mean? Is this what it's supposed to be, or something like that? But something to that effect, where the kids have their idea and we have to kind of create that idea for them. That right there was just, it seemed very challenging and it seemed very fun at the same time. So that was like one of my favorite builds from the show.
Yeah, I found it very interesting to process this question over time, because I think that my answer to the question, what's your favorite challenge, is different to my answer to the question, what's your favorite build? You know, I absolutely loved the superheroes challenge. Terry Crews busted through the wall. We were Mark and I were collaborating with Sam and Jessica, and it was just, there was this energy during that challenge that I just found incredibly fun, compelling, and we really pushed ourselves creatively in a lot of ways. But the end result, the build, I liked, but it was certainly not my favorite. So I don't know, maybe we'll answer that question after a while, but my favorite challenge, I have to say, was superhero.
Yeah, good. I think my favorite challenge was half and half. It fired my imagination. It just really spoke to just the kind of way that I like to work with Lego. It was structural, it was narrative. It was super hard, but I also think we worked together really well. I like the challenge, and yeah, the whole process was really super fun.
Like for me, like the way that I build, I find like my best builds come from when I can see the entire project completed in my head before it begins. Like I can and that particular build, the Clockman build, was like, I saw that in my head. Like I knew exactly what that finishing point was going to look like. Like when we were standing there, you know, just like looking at it, and we decided. And I also too, when I was, when we were all standing there about to go run into the room to like grab the things, like I just knew that was the thing, like that was the item that was gonna make that happen for us, and for me,
which is why even Boone couldn't even get in your way.
which is why you clearly, and it was caught on camera, would do anything.
Yes, I was ruthless. I was so vicious. But I will say, like my other, like it's sort of like what Boone was saying, like the difference between the build and like favorite build and favorite challenge. I was really fond of the mashup challenge, especially the first half of it. And I also really enjoyed, as stressful as it was at points, the Mega City challenge. Those are like the three that I really kind of connected with, I think, the most.
Yeah, I really loved Mega City. Oh, and Bridge was a lot of fun too. Jeez. Okay. Awesome. Did everyone answer that one? Mel, did you have a comment on favorite challenge?
I think mine's was most definitely the Star Wars build, where you guys did the you know, you selected a scene and you just, you know, created the scene from it and kind of made it your own. I would have been a fan. I would have been a kid at Disneyland, which I was a kid at Disneyland one weekend, and I would be a kid at Disneyland with that build, man. I wish me and Jermaine could have stuck around a bit, because that would have definitely been the refresher, you know, for me, you know. So
yeah, awesome.
Are you ready for another question?
We're ready, Allie.
Okay. Did you get breaks during the show, during the builds? Did you get any sort of breaks?
Never.
To
Never.
regenerate?
It was an onslaught of just building, no breaks. If you got to use the bathroom, hold it. If you are hungry, forget about it. You're here to work between X and X, and after that, you can live your lives, but you come right back the next day. Is that how you guys remembered it too, or?
Well, we didn't sleep for like 3 weeks, right?
No.
This is actually a question. This is a question that I don't. We're not. We've been discouraged over the months from answering this question fully, but I think what we tend to say is that we worked more than the people who ran the cameras and the lighting.
Yeah.
But we often had breaks that coincided with the people who ran the cameras and the lighting. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They work for a union, so their hours and breaks were quite strict. And there were times when we were working while they weren't there, but usually we had breaks that coincided with theirs.
I'd like to add to that they fed us really well. We got really delicious food.
They did, but can I just tell you and I don't know about how you guys felt, but like sometimes it was difficult to go back into the room after eating those giant lunches, or like eat this giant lunch. I was like, oh man, the last thing I want to do is go like stand for another 6 hours and just want to take a nap.
And there's also the dilemma of like, I'm thirsty, but how much do I really want to drink?
Yes.
So you couldn't run off to the restroom in the middle of filming.
If the
you can.
clock,
You could.
Depends. The clock doesn't necessarily stop.
Oh,
Not for you. Nope.
yeah.
Nope.
So if we had a break that coincided with the rest of production's break, they would, we had an opportunity to use the restroom. If the clock was running and an individual builder had to use the restroom, they could, but they were using their clock time to do it.
Yep.
So I would say that it seems to me that happened very, very little.
Yeah.
Hey, Jessica is here. Jessica, we started off the session
Hi.
by, hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. We started off the session by, we just went around talking about kind of what we've been up to since Lego Masters. Do you want to talk about that since you've joined us?
Oh, that's so nice. Sure. I've been really busy. Sorry, I wasn't ready. I've been doing a lot of different things. For people who don't know what I do, I'm a full-time professional artist, so I've been juggling that along with the new fandom that has come from the Lego Masters show, which I totally did not anticipate. Yeah, just been doing a lot of different projects with a lot of different things. I started doing like online build classes for kids. I did some classes for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which is a phenomenal organization. I think a lot of other Lego Masters in this room have been involved with that organization as well, which is phenomenal. I wrapped up recently, I did a Lego building a science competition with Mina Lima, who did all the graphic designing for Harry Potter. And they were really great to work with. We got a lot of very cool submissions. They're based out of London, so it's very, very global. And it was really cool to see the creations from all over the world, which was amazing. Just wrap that up. And now, as we head into Q4, the fourth quarter, I am up to my neck in between art and Lego commissions. For those of you who don't know, the artist season is Q4, is the fourth quarter. So artists get extremely busy. So I think people want to buy more art as well because everyone's been stuck inside and staring at their walls. So I think people are investing in making their office and home space nicer. So I think it will actually be a very busy season for artists in general this upcoming quarter. So I've just kind of been working on different art commissions. I did this one of Jeff Goldblum, which I'm getting prints of, which was really popular. That was custom for a client. He hasn't picked it up yet. So I've been doing a lot of different things like that. Sorry if that was a very unprepared, unprofessional answer.
You're awesome. Thanks for being with us. What do you think, Allie? Do we have are you curating some awesome questions, or should we just answer any?
We have a lot of people would like to know how long you have been building with Lego. So
Oh, wow. Yeah.
some people it's very just a couple of years, but some for a very long time. So
I've been building with Lego, I say age 3 or 4. So I think I could say I've been building with Lego for over 30 years, knowing that there's a few years in there where I probably didn't spend a whole lot of time building, but and a good 10 years of that time building the way a kid builds. But that's mine. I've been building since I was a kid.
Yeah, I've been building since I was 2. I've got like Christmas home video of me like opening some of my first Lego sets and just like, yeah. Like everything else that I got for Christmas was like, oh, yay. I was excited, but Lego was just like, I was over the top even at 2. So that's where the addiction started.
It is an addiction, isn't it?
It totally is. It totally is. Like even coming off of the show and like, okay, I need a little bit of a break from Lego. That lasted like 24 hours. And you're like, what did I make?
Right back into it. I guess I'm around the same time. I would say around about the age of 4 or 5 years old. My first intro to Lego was at a preschool. My preschool had like a big bin of Lego and stuff like that, and I would always go to it and I would always build in it. And while I was building in it, some Lego would find its way in my pocket, and I would continue building at home. I would always bring it back, not necessarily the next day, but like a couple months down the road, it would always be returned. That's what I'm trying to say. But my mom, she saw me playing with Lego, and then she realized how much I really enjoyed it, because she wouldn't hear from me for hours because I'll be just building. And she started buying me Lego stuff. Then Travis came into the picture, and he took up my time as an older brother. And then I introduced him to Lego, and then we would just spend hours building, building random stuff. We'll build sets, tear it down, build something else out of it. The same thing as Boone. It's kind of like an on and off thing. Like there were years that I didn't build with Lego, but I was always like kind of interested in having some type of Lego close by. And then I got thrusted right back into it 2-3 years before Lego Master started. And then now it's just an absolute obsession. So I just have sets and sets and sets, unbuilt, just lying all over the place. So yeah.
Tyler mentioned having video of himself as a kid, and there was no video of me as a kid because my parents didn't have like a video camera. But I did find, I've got a picture of, I guess I don't know if I can't see myself, but it's a picture of me with the Black Seas Barracuda on Christmas 1990.
Oh,
Hopefully you can see that. And I have that set up there on the shelf behind me. I was able to find it years later when my parents kind of made me take all the boxes of stuff from their house. And I was able to, I found every piece of it except one red ore. There was one red ore that I could not find that was, actually, from the set that I had when I was a kid, but otherwise.
Wow.
That was probably like my first really big Lego set, because I had other sets before then, but I would have been 6. Is that right? I would have been 6 years old in that picture, and get the Black Seas Barracuda.
We only just started building about little less than 5 years ago.
Well, I built
You
all the
built
time
it
I
up.
was a kid. For every holiday it was Lego. And it's funny, I don't remember ever getting a themed set or a minifigure. I mean, I would have been from about 66 to 76 is when I would have been building. It was always just bricks. I remember being very excited about the first time I got windows to go in all the buildings I would make. But then Dark Ages and Flynn bought a set.
Yeah, well, and then I spent most of my younger years in the performing arts, so I didn't actually spend a lot of time at home. So even though I had Lego sets, it wasn't a huge part of my life until about 4 or 5 years ago when I picked up a set that we started building. And then interestingly, like, you know, Richard says he didn't get any didn't really remember getting sets, but like that's how we ended up starting off, is we bought one set. But then after that, I just went out and bought our first like tub of used bulk brick. And then from there, we just started making mocks, and it was, you know, we had built the one set, and then from then on it was mocks. And then just recently, because of our YouTube show, we started building sets again. So it's been an interesting kind of flow back and forth between the two things. But most of our building experience in the beginning together was creating stuff, because we used to produce a lot of theater together. So we worked on a lot of shows and things like that. So we sort of channeled a lot of that energy of working on art together into our Lego builds.
Yeah, we were still making productions, just like little tiny ones on a tabletop.
I wanted to share something real quick because I saw the pictures come out. So here's a picture of Travis.
Nice.
When he got his first, this is like his first Lego set or build. So this is right when he came out the hospital. So this was like maybe a month or two after he came out the hospital after his treatment, and he got that set. It was just a box of just random bricks, and then this was like my first like coming out party that I was a Lego kid, and I built a Lego game like Monopoly. This was like my project back in like the 6th grade. And that was like my come out party. Like, yeah, this is how much I love Lego. And I had like a whole entire game. It was called Brick World, and there was characters. I had money. I created money for it. I created little mocks that people can get so that they can move around the board. And the goal was to build that, to build something, and whichever one was able to build whatever would get the top prize, which was that it was like I forget what it was called, but I have like I don't have it close by, but it was a Lego set of some type of space car or something. It was weird. I don't remember the name of it, but the kid had freckles. It was cool. It was cool. It was like one of my most favorite sets. So I wanted to share those pictures with you guys.
Maybe Time Cruisers? Was it the little Time Cruisers car with the propellers on the back? And
yes, that was it. That was it.
When you said that, when you said the kid had freckles, I was like, oh, he's talking about Timmy.
Yeah.
Time Cruisers Timmy.
The hat, I don't know what it was about that set, and I don't remember how I got it, but man, I just loved it. It was just so creative.
I thought I should mention, I've been doing some mental math here. I feel like we've hit past 100 years of cumulative Lego building experience. So, you know, just a little bit here, guys.
Just a little bit? That's awesome.
Yeah, we should just, you know, add up everyone at the convention. Wouldn't that be something? If we're just like, okay, well, how many hundreds of Lego builders are here, and what is our combined, complete, cumulative number of years of Lego building experience?
Or what's the cumulative weight of everybody's collections added together? I know behind me is at least 200 pounds of Lego, so it would be scary.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, what if we just all I did this silly draft with some people here in the Portland area a few years ago, where we each brought a gallon bag of stuff that we hadn't cared to sort yet, you know, and we just dumped out our piles, and we kind of did like this junkyard draft where we were basically all bringing the Lego pieces that we, you know, weren't important enough to us to get sorted into our collection yet. And then we roamed around, and it was sort of like, you know, one person's trash is another person's treasure, because everybody found some really interesting stuff from everyone else's piles. But yeah, what if everybody just came and we all just dumped all of our stuff into the, you know, you weigh in and you weigh out, and you take the same in weight, but you get some, you know, you get to take with you whatever you, I don't know, that sounds like a nightmare, but also kind of fun. Jessica, did you want to talk about how long you've been building with Lego?
Sure. So I actually have a very different story. I did not get into Lego until I was an adult. And that is because when I was around 20, 21, I decided that I wanted to start building my art career. And I started making art for the fine arts. I joined a lot of different arts councils and started entering for art shows. And about a few years into my career, when I really wanted to take my art to the next level, like, and be serious, like a serious artist, I actually had a dream. And I had not played with Lego as a child, like all of you have and were obsessed with it, that I had made this art piece called Lego Lincoln. I actually dreamed it. And I thought it was so brilliant that I woke myself literally up out of sleep. I think I saw the text message from years ago and texted it to myself so I would not forget it. Because, you know, when you're like dreaming, you think of an idea, you're scared. I literally woke myself up because I thought it was so brilliant. And then the next day I went out to get the supplies to make it. And I went to the Lego store. And I was like, what is this? This is like, Matt, what is this? Like the walls with I had never seen it before. So I was first seeing it as an adult. And I got as many supplies as I could. And it took me about 2 weeks to make my first Lego Lincoln. I made it. And wouldn't you know, that is the piece that really put me on the map in the fine arts world. It was selected for art shows by like People's United Bank, had sponsored a few art shows for me, some very prestigious galleries. And that's kind of what catapulted my art career, but also my Lego building experience, as I learned to fall in love with the media and all the, you know, millions of ways you could use it. But I was looking at it quite differently, not as building, but as an art media. And it's really funny because I would have, if you had asked me like a decade ago, never would I have said that Lego was what was really going to take my career to the next level. And it totally has. It's crazy, just from not only like selling the pieces in the galleries, but then having the opportunity to be on the Lego Master Show, to even be considered for it, because it was so competitive, to get on the show and then be a finalist and to get extra, you know, publicity for my work as a result. I mean, it really is an artist's dream come true. And I feel very fortunate that this has all been happening to me. It's still like very surreal, because this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a full-time professional artist, and here I am doing it. And I got so much exposure because of the show. So I'm really grateful. So that's why I encourage everybody to follow your dreams, you know, go with your gut and just see what the universe throws back at you, because you never know.
And
never know.
And say yes.
Yes.
And walk through the doors of opportunity.
Kick the door down if you have to.
Yeah. Awesome.
Ready for another question?
Yeah, thank you.
Will any of you be returning for the next season of Lego Masters?
Well, they're
I would
going
certainly like to.
First season, so all of us are going to be back for season. No, I don't know.
Or is that proprietary information?
You know what I think would be cool? I have an idea. Maybe I should email somebody and actually like pitch this idea. I think at some point during season 2, they should be like, we have a contestant who is here on season 1, and then have Timothy like crawl out from like behind a curtain or a wall or something like that.
Oh,
I think that'd be funny. And have him like, do the little like interview type thing with him and like, all right, Timothy, what's your opinion of, give his opinion. And it's just like, and then they like translate it like, these are terrible creations. I could build better.
and then
You have so much charisma. It makes so much sense.
That kind of goes into another question, which is Will a goof off screen as much as he is on screen?
Woo.
Will Arnett.
Well, Arnett, he served a great purpose being on the show. Just outside of him being a host, my interactions with Will off camera, when the cameras weren't rolling, he was coming over with me and my brother. He seems like a real cool guy. He was cracking jokes, and me and my brother, we're pretty witty as far as like sarcastic by nature. So his sarcasm was kind of rubbing off on our sarcasm. So we were just having like sarcastic conversations, and we understood each other. Like we spoke in another language. It was fun. But yeah, he served a great purpose being on the show, and I enjoyed it.
Will caused a tremendous amount of hilarious trouble at our table multiple times throughout the season. And in fact, I think some of the funniest moments that I had with Will, or that Mark and I had with Will, I can't speak for the other teams, but some of the funniest moments that we had with Will were stuff that could not make it to, primetime national network television, because it was just he would just get so off the deep end with like trying to make the jokes, and and his job is to be there and to serve up the comedy, right? And it's the editor's job and the producer's job to decide what ends up making it to the show. And so I had a hilarious, incredible time with Will. And then I saw some feedback from the public or the viewers that certain people did not appreciate Will being the host and felt like it was too, I don't know too like put on or too cheesy or whatever. And I just thought he was hilarious, and I think it's a real shame that people didn't get to see some of the funniest stuff, because it just didn't make it to air. But yeah, that's my 2 cents.
My best friend said if there was an adult version of this show, it would literally be the #1 watch show in the world, like completely unedited. With everything that was going on in combination with Will, that it would be like, he thinks it would be like a hit show on like HBO or something.
Well, our experience with Will, I mean, he was, yes, very funny, super quick, I found, like really just like fast, witty. But I also found him, and we both did, we discussed this actually multiple times, in our interactions with him, we found him to be extremely
like empathetic
and generous. Like he, whenever he would come around, I mean, there were like Boone says, there's moments that I just remember one particularly stressful build time, one among many, particularly stressful build time, where he like literally came over. I mean, like the cameras weren't on us,
nothing.
He just came over and like pulled up one of the chairs and sat next to us and just started having a conversation that was very like kind and like, yes, talking about what we were doing, but also
cracking
like
us up too.
Yeah, cracking us up, but also like he created the sense of calm, which I don't think anybody would think that by seeing his antics like on the, and he certainly did cause plenty of distraction. But at the same time, he was very I felt very empathetic and very had all of our best interests in mind, like and could tell when things were getting a little stressful or out of control, and he would have, you know, come up and have some really nice things to say.
Yeah.
Amy and I both get like so focused in what we're doing that we are just like kind of like in this intense zone, and that, you know, having Will come in and just like allow you to like stop for a second, actually like release some tension and like laugh and smile for a few minutes was actually incredibly beneficial. And it was just, it leaves you feeling like, oh, okay, this isn't as, you know, stressful as I'm making it. I'm making this a lot worse than it actually is. This is actually, have fun.
Yeah,
That was kind of what I got from every time he would come around, is like, come on, just have fun, guys.
Well, and I feel like Will, in the moments where the Brickmasters were grilling us pretty hard on the things they wanted us to change or the things they wanted us to consider differently, Will would kind of be that, like, you know, voice of positivity, right? Of like
our own little advocate to the judges.
Right. Yeah, but don't you think they did a good job with the blah 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 or whatever, you know? Yeah, I appreciated a lot about what he brought to the show and the environment in the build room. And, you know, I think the other piece of that too is that, you know, there's a huge production. There are producers. There's an entire team of producers sitting behind the scenes watching us, you know, on screens backstage. And we know that those people are there, that they want us to have a good time. They want us to, you know, do the best we can. They want to create good television. They want to create a high quality product when it comes to, you know, what people see on screen. But they don't get to come out and have those conversations with us while cameras are rolling. So Will is their ambassador, their analog, because he can represent them on camera to us. And I felt like he, for as often as he did kind of provide the distractions and the, you know, the crazy moments, he also, like some of these folks have said, you know, providing those moments of like, you're gonna be okay, you're doing good, you know. Anyway. Cool. Thanks for that one.
We also saw Will and the Brickmasters a lot more than you see on the show. Like multiple times every challenge we would see them. So there was a lot of time for interaction around our builds.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny because I was always really excited when Will would come over. I was always pleased to see Jamie. And for some reason, while we were taping the show, Brickmaster Amy, and the kind of feedback she gave, at least at our table, was it was her presence that always stressed me out the most, which seems absurd to me now because, you know, now we message and I follow her stuff, and she's, you know, had some very kind things like for my family and my kids, and we had just a really special moment after the show wrapped with all of those people. But, you know, primarily it was that moment with Brickmaster Amy that sort of made me sort of snap out of it and go like, yes, in that room, she was performing a specific role. And outside of that room and off the clock, and now that it's over, like we're able to, you know, appreciate each other and have a relationship or a friendship, you know, that was very different. But it's so strange to me now to think back on that, in that it was like when Brickmaster Amy would come around to our tables, I was so stressed out, and Will just always made me feel at ease.
I wanted to say something about this wonderful moment I saw with Brickmaster Amy. I don't think there's no way it ever made it to air, but we had a visitor on set one day who brought his daughter and was showing them around the set. And we were building, and I went over to the brick pit, and I just saw this beautiful moment between her. She knelt down, she got down really low, right in the girl's face, and they were with the minifigures, and they were building minifigures together. And the girl couldn't find exactly the parts she wanted and exactly the figures. So she said, okay, you build this one, and then you take it over there to that wall, and you pick the one that you want there. And she just had this beautiful moment. And I was thinking about how she designs the Friends sets and her relationship with children and with Lego. And it was really beautiful.
That's awesome. Was that Bateman's daughter?
Yeah.
Are we not allowed to talk about that?
I didn't know, so I didn't say anything.
It's been said, so you might as well.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, so yeah.
Richard, thanks for sharing that story.
Sure.
I was just flabbergasted that that little girl's dad was standing there talking to me, but so I didn't observe the precious moment between Brickmaster Amy and the child. Cool. What do you think? We got other good
More
questions?
questions. Would anybody like to share their audition process?
We can't talk about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's an off limits topic, unfortunately.
I think we can say that we applied
There
to the
you go.
website, right?
We do have other questions, so.
And that's how people in the future can do it. I mean, the application, the online application for season 2 is live, isn't it?
It's been live for a couple months now.
Yeah, it's been live since the finale aired on television.
I think it's fair to say it was thorough.
Yes, there you go. It was very thorough.
It was thorough. I also think it's fair to say that I would personally recommend, and this wasn't everyone's experience, because Jessica and Sam and Aaron and Christian had a different experience, but I would encourage everyone to apply with a partner if you can, and apply with a partner who is, kind of on the same level with you in the commitment to the process, love for Lego, perhaps build experience. That's probably not as important as the love of the process, the commitment to the process, the commitment to the endeavor. And I think that's important, and I think it'll help a lot of people who are actually interested in doing that go a long way.
Really good points.
I think they should definitely apply with a partner too, though. I mean, it just so happened that I didn't, but everyone who's asked me that wants to travel for the show, I 100% recommend you apply with a partner, exactly how Boone said, because just for me, you have a huge advantage. You have a huge advantage knowing who your partner is, knowing what their skills are. And that was a huge disadvantage for our team, 100%. We worked through it because we're both awesome, right? We worked through it, but I feel like had my partner and I had time to build together prior to the show, because we're on different coasts too. I'm over here East Coast, Samuel is West Coast, so we couldn't practice. And I feel like had we even had like a month to build with each other, we would have performed even better than what you saw on television. So I strongly recommend applying with a partner and practicing with that person, because at the end of the day, it is a huge advantage. I think it would have really changed the game. This is my personal opinion. If everyone on the show had to build with someone they did not know anything about, I think it would have changed the entire dynamic of the show. So it's a huge advantage. So definitely apply with somebody that and practice beforehand, definitely.
Well, one thing that really helps is if you share a language for what you call the parts.
Yeah, yes. Well, but I would say too, like, yes, apply with a partner, but also be prepared that both people may not be necessarily selected. So like, yes, go into it with a partner, but also yes, go into it knowing that that may not be how it ends up.
Yeah. I've got a total aside. This might be a no-brainer for a lot of you builders out there, but I just realized that the diameter of the head on the trophy fig is the same diameter as a bar. So like the head of the trophy fig can fit like the head of the trophy fig can wear like a giant Technic pin like crown, or would fit like into the hand of a minifigure. Sorry, I did not know that before this moment. So
Minifig head blown.
Woohoo. Okay, so
Tyler, are you still with us, or do you want to say goodbye since it's been an hour?
You kicking me out, Boone?
No, I want
Thanks
you to
a lot.
stay.
Thanks a lot.
Tyler,
Just kidding.
Tyler, I want you to stay as long as you can. I just don't want us to miss the opportunity to say goodbye to you.
Yeah, this is actually a great point, and I was about to say that. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here. Y'all have fun. Miss you guys. Can't wait to see you all.
Bye, Tyler. So good to see you. Say hi to Amy for us.
Will
Love
do.
the baby.
Go vote for Stitch on Lego Ideas.
Yes, vote for Stitch.
Big thanks, Tyler.
Bye,
Great
Tyler.
See you guys.
BrickCon
Bye,
review.
bud.
would you like another question?
Yeah, hit us with it, Allie.
Well, this is directed to Boone. What is your favorite? Wait a minute, where'd it go? Your favorite Star Wars set?
What is my favorite Star Wars set?
Was it, or maybe it's what is your favorite Lego set? And that was not directed to you personally. I thought I saw it come through to you for.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, so we can all
So you
answer
could
that
all
question.
ring in on what is your favorite set?
What is your favorite Lego set of all time? Who has it off the top of their head?
I can. I really love Ninjago City. Was probably one of my favorite sets that I've ever put together. But I'm also currently in the midst of building the gigantic yet micro Hogwarts castle, which is phenomenal amount of detail. Like I just want to like shake everyone's hand who worked on that, because the amount of detail on it is astonishing. And I'm a very highly detailed builder, so that it really speaks to me. So those are probably my favorites. Favorite set?
It's a tough one. I don't know. I would say I'd say Ninjago City
Stranger Things
is a big one, and Stranger Things.
It's a good
For
one
sure.
too.
I'm all about play functions, and while you're not gonna like be rough with Stranger Things, the fact that you can turn it upside down and just the spookiness of it, I think is so cool.
And that's all Justin Ramsden. We're a Justin Ramsden family.
I mentioned Black Seas Barracuda a little bit earlier in the meeting, and I would say that is my favorite set of all time. For a long, long time, I have my very quick answer to what's your favorite set. It was Black Seas Barracuda. But such incredible sets have been coming out lately that now I feel like I can say Black Seas Barracuda is my favorite set of all time. But my new favorite sets would probably include the 1989 Batmobile that came out last fall.
What?
And it's my favorite car. It is my favorite vehicle of the history of the world, Lego or not. And I was just really impressed with how, for years and years and years, I thought, well, they haven't made that car as Lego because it's just too curvy and it has too unique an angle here and there. And then really what they were able to do with it, and they did create one new piece for it, I believe, was the windshield. And that windshield, I think, for a long time was the bane of that vehicle not becoming a Lego set, no pun intended. But when I built it, I just felt like the techniques, there's like technique after technique that I just thought were incredible all through that build. So I'm saying 1989 Batmobile.
I don't have a favorite set per se. I have a favorite series. So my favorite series in Lego are the Lego Speed Champions. That was like my introduction back to Lego, because back when we were kids, we didn't have a lot of Lego cars, like builds. So that was like my introduction back in. And then after that, it just, every year I just made it a promise to collect all of them. So.
Mel, you got a favorite set?
I would have to go with the Apocalypse Berg. That was probably my favorite so far.
How many days am I going to be tonight?
You ready for another question?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted.
Oh,
I was
sorry.
saying, I was telling Mel that set's incredible. The angles in that set are just unbelievable. Yeah,
Hit you. Okay. If you had infinite Lego pieces and you could build anything, what would you build?
Well, we've had we're both really obsessed with theme parks, and spooky stuff. So we've had like a long-standing project that we wanted to do for a long time, which would be like a fully motorized, functioning like haunted house ride, like an old school like dark ride, like you would go to at the carnival. Like maybe not quite so fancy as like Disney Haunted Mansion, but more like you get in a little car and go around the whirly track and the jiggly skeleton pops out and makes a sound. Like kind of like that kind of ride.
And all minifig scale and with the soundtrack and all the just an immersive ride.
One day. And actually on that we actually have to get going as well. So sorry about that, but wanted to just say goodbye to everybody, and it's so great to see you all, and thank you for having us.
Flynn, Richard, we love you guys. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
great to see you.
I love you too.
I love you guys too. It's so great
I miss you.
to see all of you. I miss all you guys so much, and thank you to everybody from BrickCon for setting this all up. And definitely, if you get a chance, go check out Fab Max Furry Road and see the new sort of weird theme that we mashed up. So, all right, everybody, have a really great time, and we'll be here tomorrow, I guess, same time. All right,
Same time, same place.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, guys. Thanks. I think I've answered this question before, and I would love to build something life size. Maybe some kind of experience that people could like walk through, and the only ideas I have for that would be like, oh, I don't know, the Bridge of the Enterprise or the cockpit of Apollo 11 or something like that, where you can get inside and you can interact with buttons and switches and screens, but it's all built out of Lego. That's kind of what I would love to do if I just had completely unlimited resources. But I think it was it Brandon Griffiths that built that big Central Perk, the big life-size replica of the coffee shop from Friends. Flynn
and Richard would have known. They were just left.
Oh yeah, they got to visit it, right?
Yeah.
That something on that scale would just be really incredible, and it really would require kind of a unlimited number of bricks to pull off. But anyway, that's my answer.
I would have
for that?
For me, I would have I've always wanted to make a life-size fully functional suit, like jacket, pants, waistcoat, like fully functioning, like you can fold it, you can put it on, zip it up. I've always wanted to build something that technical out of Lego, and I would love to do something like that. I just feel like that would be like the crescendo of my my wearable Lego adventure that I've been on. So yeah.
Awesome. You always look sharp, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mel, you got a dream build?
Dream build. I would like to do a cyberpunk city. Like a huge one, like a whole big table layout.
Yeah, I love what would be the focal point of your cyberpunk city, Mel?
It would probably be Corbin Dallas's apartment building, if I ever get any if I get any images of it, but it's hard to find. You know, it definitely would be Fifth Element style.
Yeah, yeah.
Great idea. So you're talking minifig scale?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dig it.
I would love a Lilu minifig.
Yeah, yeah.
Jessica, you have something you'd build if you had unlimited bricks?
Oh my God, what wouldn't I build? Well, there's a lot of things I would love to one day have to build. I would love to do some like monuments of influential American women, like Amelia Earhart, who is literally one of my icons. Something big that people could come see. And then for fun, I would love to do a life-size walkthrough version of Alice in Wonderland.
Oh man.
And we could all do it, right? We could bring everybody in on it. And, you know, we could do like the rose garden and just like the mushroom. And I would love to do like a real, like a life-size Alice in Wonderland with everything made out of Lego. I think it would be really cool.
What are you building right now?
Right now, working on a commission. It's going to be an American flag with what I call a ragsy twist. I hide I don't think anybody knows this. I hide messages in all my artwork. There's always a hidden message in it, whether it's Lego or a different media. So my artwork becomes interactive and it forces the viewer to look at it twice. So it's gonna come out really cool. My Jeff Goldblum has a hidden message in it too. Nobody's found it yet, but so yeah, right now I'm working on this flag commission for a client. I've been getting a lot of like patriotic ones, I think because of the Lincoln. This one, somebody wanted me to do Alexander Hamilton and Lego. A lot of history stuff, really fun.
Yeah, I get people telling me every now and then, oh, you should submit something for Hamilton to Lego Ideas. And I have to tell them it's already been disapproved.
Oh, really? Because it's political?
Well, I think it's probably because of maybe some of the violence in that particular story, but I don't know. But it is one of the IPs on Lego Ideas that has already been disallowed, I guess.
Disallowed, yeah. And no political. I think they don't really approve like political things. I could be wrong, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on where you would define that line, because like the White House
yeah,
is a set, and that's where the President of the United States lives. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess maybe that's like a symbol that sort of goes beyond any particular, political party or stance or anything like that.
Well, don't you think with that one though, you being a professional at architecture, it's more because of the architectural aesthetic of the building, and it's an interesting architectural piece than it is like political. Would you say so?
Sure.
I know you love
sure. Sure. I'm sure that there's probably almost any reason that a set could be approved or disapproved based on whatever I know they've got a lot of things set in stone, but it seems like a lot of things are open to interpretation as well.
Yeah.
I just saw someone ask the question, is that the front of a Jeep on Boone's wall? Yeah, it's an old Jeep that I drove for a while and was totaled. And I was able to keep the front end, just the grill of the Jeep. I don't know.
Is that like a thing? Because like I have the front grill of my very first Audi. I don't have it hung up, but I saved that. I don't know why.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I think
like
a
this
lot of
pick.
times, the front grille of a car is, depending on the car, but can be sort of one of the signature identifying features of that car or that brand. Like, the grille of an Audi or the grille of a Jeep or the grille of a Volvo, right? Or BMW has that sort of signature look to their front grille. I don't know. I had the opportunity to keep the grill, and I did. Thanks for asking.
I want to keep that one going around. There's a related question, not to steal Allie's thunder here, but they were asking if you guys could each show something cool from your Lego room. So I guess we've seen the Jeep.
Yeah, show something cool. Show something cool from your Lego room. I've got actual Lego stuff that I could show, but I'll go last since I talked about the Jeep. Who's got something cool to show?
It's like actual Lego, something cool Lego, or something just cool in your Lego room.
I think you could interpret that as you see fit, but we're with Lego fans, so.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, I'm gonna go collect the stuff that I want to show. I'll be back.
I have a ton of stuff. Wow. Okay, give me a sec. Oh, I'm spotlighted. Wonderful.
Give up on Boone, so he's off getting stuff.
Where's Mel? Mel, do you have anything cool to show?
Nobody.
You know what? Yeah, I do. Hold on. I gotta go get it. So I should ask questions like that.
All right.
I'm going to show some Lego stuff and then some non-Lego stuff.
I have something.
I'll show one of mine since we're waiting on people to collect their stuff. This is the piece of the wall that Terry Crews broke through in the Superheroes episode of Lego Masters. And
I was going to show the wall.
You were going to show yours?
I was going to show mine. I'll show mine too.
All right. We were basically, there were, probably 5 or 6 section of wall that looked like a big, blue base plate. On each side of the studio, there were 5 or 6 sections of, just big sections of wall that looked like that. And they were all wood, and they were sort of like wheeled around, and sometimes we could get in and out through one side, one that they would open for us. And so we never suspected that someone could burst through one of those walls, because I think we all sort of thought they were made out of wood. And I think they were, but except on that day, they had replaced one of those panels with the same thing, but it was made out of styrofoam. And Terry Crews burst through it, and as soon as they were done taping that segment, they put the original back, and the styrofoam one was sitting outside, and it was sort of like the whole edge was still attached. And so we went out and snapped pieces off because it was just going to get put in the dumpster. And I think a number of us saved part of Terry Crews's wall. So that's my first thing. What do you got, Corey?
All right, show and tell. All right, I'll do non-Lego stuff first, and then I'll.
Can I cut? Because I've had to go up. Can I cut Corey? Because I only have one thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm cutting you. I'm being rude, Corey. I'm only going to show one thing. I had to come upstairs for it. This is actually, I just picked it back up yesterday. This is the Lego Lincoln, and I just got it back from Rockefeller Center. It was on display at Rockefeller Center in New York City for 6 months. And I got it back all in one piece. Mel and I had talked about something related to that, but it is back.
Safe and sound.
Where?
Yes, I am happy. That was my thing. Okay.
Where at Rockefeller Center was that on show?
In the Lego store.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah, it was in the window of the Lego store in Rockefeller Center. So yeah, they loved it. And what happened was, it was supposed to be on display for February because Lincoln's birthday is in February. And then coronavirus happens and we went into lockdown. So he extended his stay for a few months, and they loved it there anyway. They kept it there, and I just got it back literally like yesterday. So
Wow, awesome.
yeah. So
Cool.
I'm still here. I'm
Something
just
in here is
running
making
around through the house. So sorry, Corey.
Nah, you're okay. You always cut me. It's okay. I'm used to it. All right. So at my previous job, when I was an analyst, a friend of mine had this on her desk, and the day that I left my job, she said that I can keep it. And I always remember this special Yoda, because anytime we were arguing with customers over the phone, we would just look at Yoda, and somehow it would give us a sense of peace, and we were able to calm the customer down. So that's one thing. Two, I'm a huge wrestling fan. So this is my favorite wrestler of all time. Macho Man Randy Savage, still in the box. I'm not taking it out the box.
Randy Savage.
I love everything about Macho Man Randy Savage. I love how over the top he was. He wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the strongest, but his charisma was just, oh yeah, like everything about him I loved. Also, like I said, I'm a huge fan of wrestling. So I have an official, authentic WWE title.
All right.
Gold-plated WWF when it was WWF. So this was my favorite belt, favorite designed belt, still to this day. Let's see what else. Oh, this is probably one of my most favorite dolls ever. Boone knows this doll. Boone actually gave this doll to me when I was out there in Portland. And ever since then, oh, wait, hold on. Wait, I'll come back to you, Mel. So this doll right here, like I'm in love with Will Ferrell. I think this is the only man that I will be legit starstruck if I ever met him. But this is Ron Burgundy, obviously. And ever since I got it, he sits up, always watching me, making sure that I'm performing at the best of my ability. Also, I have a piece of that wall too, a couple of signatures on it. My goddaughter made this for me a couple of years ago.
Oh,
cool.
This is way before Lego Masters and all that, but she knew how much I love Lego, and she made this, wooden C, and it sits right over in my office area all the time, and I'm always reminded of how much she watches what I do, and that always gives me motivation to keep doing so. I do so much because I do it for her. Mm-hmm. Lastly, my Mario. This is the Mario that I believe got me onto the show, because when I was reached out to, they said that they saw this Mario on my feed, and they said that this was like what they saw, and I always kept it as a reminder of what and how. But can I show one more thing? One last thing? I know I'm showing a lot.
Yes.
Last thing. This right here.
Oh, we just saw your shorts.
I know. I was trying to be quick. So these two boys right here, Caden and Caleb, their adopted mother friend reached out to me a couple months back and said how these two boys, they've been in the adoptive system for all of their lives. So they don't really know their mother, their father, and all that stuff. And just recently, they got adopted by this lady, her name is Maria, and they saw the show, and they watched the show, and they saw me and my brother, and that gave them hope that they can still, up until like age of adulthood, they could be together as a unit. And they sent this to me. They did a class with me during the summer, but they sent this to me, and I left it on I have this also over in my office area, because like when I look at their face, I see me and my brother, and I see the type of impact that we had, from the show, for everyone. But when it comes to African American kids, you know, who don't have a lot of like role models in other areas other than like sports and like music and stuff like that. So it really meant a lot to me to really see that and have that. So this is another one of my most prized possessions. But, yeah, that's it for now. I have more, but you know, let's go to Mel. So because I see him with some. Is that a plastic? This guy got.
That's real, son. That's
Take
real.
the camera off of him, man.
That's the real championship belt right there.
Man,
You
that's
guys
right
are
there,
hilarious.
huh? They ain't plastic.
What do you mean by real? Is it a real replica, or is it like actually a belt that someone won for a thing and you bought it?
Yeah, actually, I made a milestone. I'm in law enforcement. And I made a milestone. That's why you see the handcuffs on here. I made a milestone in at my job, and this was my present for making that milestone. So I'm a champion right here. I'm a champion, a real champion. I ain't no paper champion like Corey. Paper champion.
Listen. At the end of the day, that championship that you got, that's WCW, and that's gone. That's still on top. So I mean, you want to take it there? We can take it there.
Did you guys know
This
I
what makes
used
me
to
a
work
champion.
at
For
WWE?
this right here. This makes me a champion.
I love the
So you see what I did, Boone? I did I went the old school 80s. I did the double lacing, right? You know what I mean? So I did the blue side. You get the blue side. You see this, Corey? You get the blue side on the red right over there. You know.
Listen, man, I got something. Listen, I told you.
Right?
I got something for you. Don't worry. Give me a week. Give me a week. I got something for you.
You got to coordinate, right? So you got to coordinate because you got all the, and I like that they got the studs on the side, on the bottom over here. But did you know that you can't use the real Lego on the Lego brick because the studs are too small?
Oh.
What?
Yeah, the studs on this shoe is not the same size studs on Lego bricks.
What about the side? What about the side of the?
Yeah, the sides too. The sides
too.
Yeah, I even tried the rounds and tried to put the rounds on there. They fall right off.
What's the point then? I thought we could build on them.
And it's probably because of design, maybe. It's probably two things. Well, number one, it's probably design. And two, Lego is all control, man. They love control. So I doubt that they're not in the line of selling sneakers. Adidas is, so they're probably not going to give Adidas that type of power to actually have Lego product and be selling it. So
you can build on the Levi's stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to Levi's stuff. Well,
yeah, the Levi's, the dots. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with design or something. But the studs are scaled back, a lot. So even the ones on here, because you got studs right here on the loops as well. So
what do you think of them, Mel? Other than the fact that you can't build on them, do you like the shoe? Do you like the design?
I love the design. I love the shoe, and the reason why is because it represents all the primary colors of Lego. You can say all the primary colors of a crayon box, but it's hitting all the colors. Even like if you ever looked on some of the shoe buffs, and the shoe buffs got this sneaker way before we did. But even if you looked on some of the shoe buffs, right, they said that this suede was like an off-white when it wasn't. It's actually representing the light gray color.
Yeah.
But they didn't know that, So next time you do a shoe like that, Adidas or Lego, please get a Lego person, at least a knowledgeable Lego person. Not me, but a knowledgeable Lego person like Boone, maybe Corey or Jessica, somebody like that. And have them go over the shoe and the elements of the shoe, not a sneakerhead.
I find it hard to believe. Oh, you mean just as to review?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they had some very strict and interested parties from Lego working on the design of that shoe.
Oh yeah.
But they must have just had priorities that led them away from creating something that you could build on. I mean, it could have been as simple as user experience. They might have felt that on a shoe they couldn't actually include studs to build on without having them fall off while you're walking, and maybe they wanted to avoid that potentially negative experience.
Yeah, I just figured it probably had something to do like with the design of it. Maybe they had to scale back to actually make it fit so on the shoe. So I mean that's a possibility too. So, but you'll hear some sneaker buffs calling it a Lego element, and if it doesn't, if you don't have that collection power, it's technically not a Lego element, is it? Really? Is it really? Maybe no.
All right. I have one more interesting thing to show. This is I haven't even owned this a year, and it has quickly skyrocketed into probably my top 5 prized possessions of my life. This is the Lego Originals wooden minifigure that came out last fall, and I had mine signed by everyone from season 1 of Lego Masters. So there's I signed the face. My teammate Mark Cruikshank signed the beard. So you can see he wrote his name in the shape of a beard because of course we were the bearded builders. There's Mel right there. Crystal. We got Crystal, Manny and Nestor are here. Tyler and Amy are over here. Corey drew on the little Brego and then signed it. BX Bricks, Jermaine is on this arm. Amy IE sort of turned this arm into like a cyborg arm and signed it because she's got like a cyborg arm. Ricardo. Oh, you guys, nobody in the public knows who Ricardo is. Yeah. Ricardo, what was he? Ricardo was sort of like
he was the talent manager.
Talent manager. Yeah, so he was kind of in charge of us. And he was in charge of making sure that Will and Amy and Jamie were always, where they needed to be and had what they needed to have. There's what is that? There's Jesse. Here's Jamie Berard, Brickmaster Amy, Will Arnett. There's Travis Sams, Aaron and Christian are here, but I can't tell which is which. I think Christian is the one at the top, and Aaron is the one lower down. Jesse Rex, Kara. Anyway, so this will always be very, very special to me. Thank you for letting us show some cool things.
And I drew the little bow.
Oh yeah, it's on the side of the head. Jessica drew a bow on the side of the head. That actually turned out really good, Jessica. Like, that looks really good on camera. Hey, what do you think if we spent a little bit of time, if we each gave the viewers some kind of building tip or some kind of Lego fandom advice? What do you think? Can we each come up with something like that?
I'm actually doing something right now, so I could show it. Building tip that I have for you is to find a type of storage system for your Lego. For example, I like these tackle boxes, and the reason why is because I can place all of my elements in these tackle boxes. So I can try to bring my camera. So here I have my gears, my pulleys, and my bushings, and I have them all in one spot. So I know exactly where they are. I know exactly, what they're doing because they're all in one spot. So when you're building stuff, at least for me, I need to be able to go specifically to where I have my things stored. And another example is the label. So these are all my 2x pieces. So I have everything in tackle boxes and all my different sizes. It's not necessarily color coordinated, like that doesn't really work for me, but I need to have it all piece coordinated. So 2x pieces are in the same spots, all my hinges. So if I have different types of hinges, I have them all in different storage bins. And it's just made my life as a builder easier and as a teacher, because when I'm teaching, I gotta be able to think on the fly. If I have to change a project, I got to be able to go to the right bin, switch out the project, switch out the pieces and stuff like that. So that's always worked for me, that type of storage. And then, as you guys can see over here, these are all my other storage bins and stuff like that, color coordinated, but mostly piece coordinated, and then color comes secondary. I think you're muted. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Awesome. Ragsy, you got a tip or a recommendation to the viewers?
I am a very disorganized person. So I actually have people help me get organized. I use these the D-wall things to store my Lego, but I guess a tip, let me think of an artist tip.
Oh yeah.
I would say for people who are looking to get into the mosaic stuff, which I personally actually do not consider my stuff to be mosaic, because it's very, even the Lincoln upstairs, it's several layers. It's not flat, but I would say for people looking to get into the mosaic stuff, I would definitely map it out and then glue it afterwards. If you're making an art piece, you're not going to take apart. You definitely want to use a professional adhesive, but I definitely recommend mapping the entire thing out without pushing it all the way down. And then when it's exactly how you want it, just gently picking up each piece one by one and putting the adhesive under it. Because once you put the adhesive on it, it's not going to come off. That'd be my artist tip, is not, if you're doing mosaic or any kind of art that's more 2D, you don't push it down all the way on the base plates. Push it down like halfway, like just a little press, so you can pick it back up when everything's where you want it, and then you add the adhesive and put all the pieces back. It's my artist tip.
Woo! I've only used adhesives on 2, let me think, is that accurate? 2 commissions that I had to ship a very long way that had to get there intact. Otherwise, adhesive is a bit foreign to my process, but that's good to hear. Jessica, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I noticed that with a lot of Lego builders, they don't use adhesive because a lot of builders take their stuff apart and make something else out of it. Yeah. Interesting.
Mel, you got any tips?
I would say if you're building mocks or whatever, you build the mocks, of course, anything that you create without instruction, always use a second pair of eyes before you show everyone else. Use a second, use a buddy, use the buddy system. Hey, here's my creation, Boone. What do you think? What would you, what you think missing, or, ask questions and stuff like that. I think a second pair of eyes on a mock always help you to build a little bit more, or take that mock a little bit further.
Yeah, cool. I think one of the things that I would like to recommend to any builders, whether you are buying sets off the shelf and you're building them, or you're just collecting Lego, or whether you exclusively build mocks and you're just, amassing a collection of loose elements to build creations from your own imagination, I really just encourage you to do what makes you happy. Because a lot of times we can get really bogged down with, like, who is our audience? What do our audience want to see? Or like, it's really easy to get caught up in some of the negativity, primarily online out there. When a pair of shoes comes out and almost nobody can get it, or when they release the new line of Star Wars stuff and everybody has opinions about the way they did this or the way they did that, or what they did include or what they didn't include, and people are going to say what they want to say about all the various different things. And so it's easy to get bogged down in what other people think, what people are complaining about. And I would really just encourage you all to get back to the heart of why you build. Do what helps foster your creativity. Focus on the parts of your love for Lego, your love for building, or your love for collecting. Focus on the aspects of it that make you feel good and have fun. And I think you'll have a good time if you focus on those things. That's what I try to do. And then the other recommendation I would make is, if you're watching this today and it's your first experience with BrickCon or with any Lego fan, events, conventions, I'd encourage you to reach out to someone in your neighborhood, see what's going on in your, not necessarily neighborhood, but in your area. See what's going on in your area, and get connected to your local convention. Get connected to your local Lego user group. Whatever's going on in your area, connect, because I know so many Lego fans who, their lives changed, in to small degrees or to great degrees when they, found a community of sort of like-minded, creative people. So those are my recommendations to folks. We have less than 10 minutes. Allie, you want to throw maybe we'll have time for one or two more questions?
Okay, the my question screen disappeared, but if I can summarize, it was, did you watch the international Lego Master shows prior to your stint on Lego Masters? Any of you?
Some of it. I didn't want to ruin the experience for myself, because I wasn't sure whether or not we would get other projects that were on previous shows and then having to do it. So I kind of just looked at the environment and some of their building process, but I didn't really look too much into it until we started filming, and then I started to check it out.
Yeah, I was a fan of Lego Masters before even becoming a Lego Master or even being considered going through the process. So I was a fan of the UK show. I'm a huge fan of the Australian show. Some of the contestants I'm very much close friends with and talk on a regular basis with, and on the Australia show. And so I've always been a fan way before I was able to get picked in the lottery.
Yeah, I found it difficult to find the full episodes of UK or Australia before we started taping. I watched as much as I could find on YouTube, and a lot of that was clips, shorter clips, or weird channels that had full episodes from UK. But to get around copyright law, they would play random static from I don't know, radio scanner or something like that over. So it was very difficult to watch. But then when we got to LA, we started I think it was I don't know, can I say who it was? Sam
and I had watched it, and we had given it to the cast members to watch as well. And I think I gave it to Sam and Sam gave it to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Access to it, because you can watch it in the US. You just have to have special subscriptions. I definitely watched it. The thing is, though, personally, in my opinion, I think it was helpful for I guess TV, but I don't know, because I still honestly feel like our season was so different than Australia. I don't feel like you had an advantage if you had seen Australia, or the UK was so different than Australia or US. I did not see the UK. I did see the Australia episodes before, but I feel like it wasn't a huge advantage. That's in my personal opinion, because a lot of the challenges were different. We still didn't know what challenge we were gonna have. I don't know. What do you guys feel about that? I don't.
Yeah.
But I did watch it, and I love the Australia show. I wish ours was a little more like Australia's, because I really enjoyed the Australia season.
I was just gonna ask, which do you think was better, our show, or the other Lego Master shows. I'm automatically biased, so I'm gonna say our show, but
I know, right? Ours.
I think, and I guess Richard and Flynn's gonna miss me for saying this, but I think with our show, they were so busy about the, highlighting the interactions and not so much of the details of how to get to the builds. Whereas Australia, they'll show you beginning to end on whether they're chasing like just a contestant or two, or two different teams. They'll show you how they got from A to B, so you see how they achieved certain things on the Australia shows. It's less drama, less glitz and glam, but I mean, that's American television. We want the drama, we want the glitz and glam. It's Hollywood, so we want what sells. So
yeah, one thing that I remember is, we all watched that Australian season before we started taping, and then at the beginning of each new episode, they would hold us behind that wall that slides open. And we'd all be standing back there, and we had no idea what we were going to see when they opened that wall. And we would pretty quickly, once we got through that wall, we'd pretty quickly begin to understand what the challenge was going to be. It wasn't always like extremely apparent, like when they came out in I want to say like construction clothes. It was like, okay, is this going to be like a construction site? I think it just ended up being sort of the city, the mega city. But before those doors slid open, there was like a whole morning of speculation. And in fact, the speculation about what was coming next was going around in conversation among the cast all the time. and having watched Australia, it's like, I feel like those conversations about speculation almost got like, it didn't help us. It didn't help us to have those conversations about the speculation, because people would just get like worked up about like, oh, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, it's going to be this. Like, and then in the end, I think half of our challenges were similar to challenges from Australia, but even the ones that were similar had some differences to make them different. And half of them, I think, were completely original. So I guess if I'm talking to anyone out there watching who ends up on a future episode or a future season of Lego Masters, I would encourage you to let the surprises come to you and don't stress out too much about speculating about what's coming, because, honestly, I think Mark and I did some pre-planning that helped us for one challenge, maybe. Before the entire season started, we were able to look at Australia and say, okay, if we do something like that, what might we do? And when it came down to actually building something like that, we had to completely change our plan, because the factors of being in the room with the other teams are completely unknowable ahead of time. So I just encourage people, don't stress out too much about that.
Yeah, I would actually say don't watch, if they haven't seen it, maybe like don't watch it if you're going to go on the show, because actually when we started filming, I almost wish like I hadn't watched it, because I feel like it wasn't beneficial, and then everything wasn't as surprising. Like the challenges were definitely a surprise. We had no idea until we walked out there, but just the whole like aura of the show was, I feel like, less surprising, because the dynamic was so similar to Australia, the way it was set up. So I almost wish like and had I known that, I would not have watched it, but I don't feel like it's any advantage, because at the end of the day, you have to build on the spot. And like Boone said, you don't know how they're going to twist it, or they might not like your idea. You might plan out this great idea, and then they might say, we don't like that idea, you have to change it, and then you can't even use it. So I feel like I wish I watched it after our season, because I don't think it was of any particular benefit, because you don't know what the judges are going to say. In fact, there's a few ideas where Sam and I were like, we're definitely going to do this, and then we tell it to the judges, they're like, we hate that, don't do that. So it was like almost like we couldn't even plan ahead because you didn't know what the judges' reactions were going to be to whatever your design or plan was.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to thank everybody for joining us today. This has been a wonderful experience, I think, for everybody.
Thank you, Marcy.
You bet. And our time is over. We just really appreciate your time and all of your information, and we enjoyed your show.
Thank you very much, Marcy. Thank you,
everybody.
Allie. And please tell Douglas we said thank you.
Well do.
You.
All right. Thanks, Mel. Thanks, Corey. Thanks, Jessica. We'll be back same time tomorrow.